Hey, Bevan Bird here with AIArtGodMode.com, and like, what's all this, right? What's all this? Right, well, in this video I'm going to give an example of curation, doing a little curating, because there's a thing I'm actually working on, not these cats. The cats are a distraction. They were an experiment. Because I was working with ChatGPT today, setting it up, priming it to do a purposeful work, but in the process of that I did some experiments. You can see these things with different styles combined into them there. Okay, but there's a lot more than that. Okay, so here, let's just filter all this to 35 year, because there's a prompt that I put in that said 35-year-old. Actually, I'm 38, but this is what I had written in the prompt, so let's see what happens with that. Yeah, okay, that's not going to work though in this case, because I actually created some prompts about me like that, this 35-year-old man in the jungle, but in a whole bunch of different styles, right? So we'll have to ignore those for now. But then you're seeing a long time ago when we go back here, and then this is more recently, but then this is definitely today. Anyway, that doesn't matter. We're on upscales. We'll go over to grids. And also, I think what we want to do is just look at favorites before I do this, because you'll see what's already there. So I guess I'll go to upscales and favorites, and it doesn't have to be filtered. It's just anything. Okay, all right, so you can see that. So that's good, because that shows what I was working on, right? Because you got to curate, and then the ones that are close to a vision, ignore the pixelated dancing cats. That's another thing. But right here, it's working on this, and then making this dude into me, right? We'll face swap later, and have him conjuring a dragon like that, right? So it's going to be a combination. Right, so now we won't look at favorites, we'll just look at regular ones, and recent grids, but then I'll filter them down. So I'll put 35-year-old, and then, unless it was yours, right, we'll see. And then I can just go through and favorite some of those, or I'm finding them in the grids, right, so I can then upscale certain ones that I like and favorite them. Or we can look at upscales in here, but I'm not sure if we need to. I don't think I have made any. I think we got to look at it and see if there's anything cool, so we'll take a look back here. See, this is completely different, some of these recent things, and that was the result of using ChatGPT and putting in some combinations of artists. I just made it easier to do those tests of experimenting with different styles, like combining the artists together today. But as we go back, you'll see it goes back to what I was doing earlier. So these photos. Yeah, so then what I want to do is just select certain ones out of there and like upscale them or favorite them, and then I will be able to do more work with those in the future. Okay, while in a video about this, it's worth pointing out this glitch that we can see here, because I was looking at these, right, and it was filtered by that search that's in there, but now it isn't though, and that's because I clicked on one of them. Say I clicked on like this here, for example, and looked at it, and then clicked the X, and so then we should be back on the search, right? But look, we're not. Look at these other things. These don't have 35 in them, right? It's just anything like that. Okay, so this is why I would hold down Control and click on them, open it in a new tab. So we'll just go up to this search here again and hit enter. Do this search again. You can see that this is changing up there, right? And if we scroll down, I'm still on grids, right? We could look at whatever we want here. Okay, so now you'll see that it filters. It's not going to have those other ones now, like the sailboat. That's not there, right? Okay, so now instead of just clicking on it, which is what would cause that problem and cause wasting time, instead we hold down Control and click, so it opens in a new tab. So we can do that to open them like that, and if we want to look at them more closely, like that. Okay, by Rembrandt. right? Okay, so what we can do on these is just, I can just click the heart, the favorite button on certain ones. So I'm gonna just go through and do that, because it'll take longer to upscale certain ones. Actually, it doesn't take that long, but see, if I do one of those, like say one that I want to use or might want to use, right? This might not be that bad up here. It's got to be, yeah, okay. I mean, they don't have to be perfect. The thing is, I've already probably got enough anyway. It's just like, it's doing more different styles, right? And I don't really need this unless I want it. I can show you what I've got so far. Go to upscales and favorited, and then you'll see them there. We don't need that prompt in there. So I just kind of took it out and hit enter again, or you could like clear it, refresh. Okay, so this is what I've already got, right? So we only really need to collect other ones if they're better or like kind of similar, and that I want to use them in the work that I'm doing, in the connect with your future self and create that art idea. So yeah, so we can see here if there's any in upscales already, because maybe there are some, and then I could go and favorite them, which would add it to that other list, but I don't know if there are. Yeah, see, I've got a few here like this, but it's completely different. Okay, yeah, these are kind of interesting. That's a few things that I happen to make today with the help of ChatGPT. Okay, yeah, and these ones, which is completely different. I actually want to make a small dragon, not a huge one. Right? It's still loading there. Okay, there we go. I don't know what he's standing on, but yeah, that's pretty wild. And then I can also see here that, that these are not filtered. These are other things. So we'll just add that filter in, hit enter on that, and then those ones shouldn't appear there. Okay. Alright, so here we can just add that to favorites. Okay, see, did that. So yeah, if I want to share them with my group, right, or if I want to use them in the work, then I'll favorite it just to separate it from everything else. So I am going to show them these, so we'll just favorite those so that it's curated. It's made into a smaller list. It's not just mixed with everything else. That's another one of those there. Okay, but I'm gonna leave that one out. And that, it looks like the dude's in the painting. Yeah, he is. He's up there in the painting. Okay, well, it might be interesting. I'm not really gonna use it, but just we might take a look at it. Okay, and this is also obviously interesting. Yeah, there, you see what I mean, how it went off of the search, right? See, it's just doing anything. So go back up here, hit enter. That's what happens if you click on them. If we do control and click, we won't get that. Alright, this is just another one. I'm going to ignore this one. But if you wanted to upscale one, then we can just go like open in Discord. It will do that here, and we'll be able to upscale or make variations or whatever we want. Okay, so I'm looking at upscales and this search and looking for more of them. It doesn't look like there are anymore, but we can go to grids, and that's where we'll find more. But this is just experimental. We go back to see if there's anything useful that I might actually use, which I'll look for back there. So you can see that this is loaded here, right? Sometimes it might pop up a little bit off, but it didn't. It was right on it. That see, not this. It was on this one, and there it is. So you can upscale those 1, 2, 3, 4, or do variations. U is for upscale. Okay. Yeah, so if there's one that's close to what I'm trying to do, I can use it. Plus we can always remix them or combine them, and you can even like make a cutout I got gigapixel, right? So if I cut out part of it, I could upscale it also. But we can just do a little cutout and then upload that image and use it as a reference too. So if anything is useful, then we can use it. I'll upscale that, and then like when that shows up over there, I'll favorite it too. Okay, so I'll just pause again and look through here a bit. I think this, it might be kind of copying Keanu Reeves here a bit, right? That one. Which doesn't matter at this point because this is just a rough layout. The point here is the style. Ah, see, I've clicked on it again, right? Instead of control clicking. But it may be fine if we then look through them like this, right? It may stay on the search in that way. But when I click X, it tended to get off of the search. But then you just have to do the search again. It's just that if you were way back on something, then it may take a while to do that. See this thing here? There, see that's one that shouldn't have come up, so that means that it's not really on that search, although you'd think that it would be, but it isn't. It isn't once we clicked on it and started scrolling through either, because I just showed you that, right? It didn't have this in that prompt, and the one that we saw isn't in this list here, right? So as we were scrolling back, yeah, it just went to anything general. But anyway, I'll take a look and maybe add a couple more in here. Yeah, and I'll also show you that we can look in Discord. It doesn't have to be on this interface on the Midjourney website, because I just upscaled something, right? And it's just going to do that very quickly because they're already pre-upscaled anyway in the recent versions. So, well, in certain versions, but anyway, so then we can just click this here, so that's fine, and then I'll continue on over here. Okay, and what I've decided is I'm not going to click on the favorite thing on certain ones here on grids. I'm just going to go to the next step on it, like if I like number 3 on this one, which is the one over here, and I got a few of them here. Basically, I just hold down Control to open this and any other ones like this. I like the boulders in this one, the mossy boulders there too, right? So you'll see those here, right? So anyway, I just went and opened in Discord, right? And then with those I will choose which, right? So then I will just upscale number 1 on this one here, and that's all I need there, right? Because once we get that, we'll favorite it. And on this next one here, I was going to use number 3 and maybe 4. I don't want it to be a silhouette though, like dark. I want to be able to see the person, which will then be me. Face swap in, but I'll make it bigger though. We'll go with number 3 there, and 4, I guess. I'm sure the lighting can change. Okay, and then this one, yeah, see, I like this big mossy boulder, and then this is even bigger. It's kind of on a cliff, and that's just a small boulder in the river, right? But we can still add them all, like for the collection. I'll just upscale like those 2, 3, and 4 there. 2, 3, 4. Okay. There. And then continue on. Okay, so this one was going to be number 2, number 3. I guess I'll upscale. Oh no, I didn't really like that one. I've already upscaled it though. Yeah, so these 2 here I could use. Okay, so I'm making art about myself. It's a future self thing. Yeah, here's some of the earlier stuff. See, I took a picture of myself, so it started with this photo, and this is one of the earlier ones. Well, it's not one of the earliest. I have a couple of those here. That one there. Those 2, once I started adding that color with Lisa Frank and palette knife oil painting or something. Yeah, so then I got to this one when I added gold to it, gold chain, And this is before a face swap, before face swapping in. There's other ones. There's one with an animal, or like a spirit animal behind me, different. Still, that's not face swapped. This is also not face swapped here. It's another one I made later as a variation of this one. We got to this. These are other ones, and I've face swapped into these here, as well as this, right? Yeah, I face swapped into that. There might be a dragon behind me there too, but it's supposed to make a smaller dragon. There's a kind of thing here, right? But it's not really a dragon, but it can change into one. Yeah, I've face swapped in this with insight face, and there was a video I made that showed how to do that, but I'd like to redo that and make a better one. Okay, yeah, it's face swapped in here and there. Okay, and we have some other generic ones here, right? And that was one of the early ones I created with the idea of on a boulder in the jungle, right? And I face swapped in there too. Okay, yeah. So, but then we've taken it further, and this is kind of good. But my idea is to be standing on the boulder, not sitting down, right? And then conjuring the red dragon. So we don't have that yet. It's in progress. Yeah, so that's to give a bit of context for these. That's what I'm doing. So maybe use number 1, number 2. I guess I'll go upscale 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then we also have this one here, number 2. Yeah, I'm going to upscale 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so then all those new ones, we'll just favorite those to add it to the thing here. And then that's pretty much good, because I've looked through this and selected some of them. You'll see some different experiments here with different styles. Yeah, I kind of have to see if I want to include any more of them, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm still gonna show this to the group, right? And then there's experimental styles here, a few. There's actually quite a few other experiments, not of the same thing yet. Yeah, they haven't been imagined yet. But these are like, the reason there's some repeating stuff is there's variations of the others, because I just clicked to see what it would do, and we're just now seeing that for the first time there. Okay. So then the ones I've upscaled will then be here. We can still use that search. We got to kind of refresh it because it'll be new stuff. In here, you're gonna see it. But I can just click on this button on each of these. Yeah, maybe it'll be faster over here. Well, that'll be once it loads there. So, is this actually working? Yeah, see, it doesn't tell me. That may have just undid it. If I hit escape, it will jump right down to the bottom. Okay, it's saying that I liked it again. Alright. Okay, so then I'll just go through and do that with these ones that I upscaled. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't going to use that one. Okay, and then I'll be able to do variations of these if I want to, or mix them together, or cut it out and change the view or whatever, or refine the prompts. But the point will be to actually get, so that's done. The point will be to actually get the dragon in there, so I'm going to be looking at that next. So yeah, that was this video, which was about curating it, and now you can see these here. If we look at this and the favorited ones and upscales, we can search, but we also don't have to, because this was the only thing. It doesn't matter what it says in the prompt, right? It's just the latest things that I've favorited, and we will see them there. Okay, and I clicked refresh again at a certain point because it wasn't working. I gave it some time and clicked refresh, and it does work. So now you can see these here. So I'll be able to easily show them to my group and be interactive with it instead of having to download images, put them into a PowerPoint and stuff like that. I can show it right here. We can click on any one of them, right? I'll hold down Control and click this, for example, and then you'll be able to see all the info about it. Like, click that and go copy full command, and we've got all of this prompt and the parameters down there, and any image prompts that were included. In this case, none. Okay, so we'll have all that, which we can use. So if we want, we can just imagine again with any of those prompts, like this, for example. Copy full command, go and imagine that now. Right, and that'll create another one of those. Yeah, so that's good for now. You can see what I had there already before, which was this stuff. There might even be some before that. Now it's other things, random things, and like my dad's one here in the middle, and then stuff from a long time ago. But I wasn't even like favoriting things for a long time because it seemed like it would take a long time for it to actually show up in here. So I did things my own way. But back a long time ago, I was doing these king cheetahs or cheetah kings, and so back then, many months ago, it's showing 10 months ago, I was curating some that were interesting, that were getting somewhere, right? Had potential. Okay, so they could be built into something. It's for an NFT collection that's still in progress. So yeah, here. These are just an experiment about pixel art for an NFT collection for with these dancing cats. It's just a silly example, like idea. It was just to test it to see if we could, and yeah, the test passed. You can do it. So yeah, these are the ones that I have here with what I'm working on, and there's one dragon. I'm gonna look at bringing the dragon in and actually making that work, like maybe using this one here. Although we want it to be a bit closer, you got to be able to see them, and I want a good background too, so I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, that's why we have these different options, so that we can create whatever we want to create. Okay, that's what this video was about, curation. Thanks for watching. Learn more at aiartgodmode.com.